Hey, what's poppin' everybody? My name is Chimichangas28, and welcome back to yet another gaming video, where today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build what is in front of me right now, which is a villager breeder. This is a design that I've been trying to, develop for a little bit now. So yeah, anyway, just a few things before we begin this tutorial. This was designed on the Bedrock edition. I see no reason why it shouldn't work on the Java edition of the game, but this was designed on the Bedrock edition, so it does work on the Bedrock edition, of course. This was also designed in 1.14.4, so just keep that in mind. This one is going to be a bit longer, so also keep that in mind, and it does require a little bit of redstone resources, so quite a bit, so probably a mid to late game thing. So, and the other thing is it does require sticky pistons, so make sure you have at least a little bit of slime ready for this. Now, this design is actually pretty easy to build because it's just basically separate modules, which we'll be building this. And the last thing that I just kind of wanted to say was sorry about the infrequent uploads. I'll try to get better about that, but I've spent a lot of time designing and kind of developing this, so and I really wanted it to work properly before I released it. So that said, let's go ahead and get on how to building it. Now, this particular farm has 4 functions, or not farm, excuse me. What is this called? Villager breeder has 4 separate functions, which you can feed the villagers to breed them. You can send them to your trading hall, which this doesn't actually include a design for a trading hall. This is just the breeder, so if you have a hall already, then this is definitely for you. If you have another tutorial that you're going to use, then I would recommend this design here. But I don't have a villager hall design yet. As of yet, I only have the breeder. It can send them to your hall, and then it can also harvest carrots with this little thing up here, which this is the up one. This up here is a little carrot farm, which is done with water, and it's all controlled by this central point down here, which is very, very simple to use, very easy to use. And if we just flick this on, and we'll do time set day real quick, so that way they will actually breed. But if we flick this on, we can see carrots falling and babies are coming out here. Real quickly though, if we just see this right here, there's an adult villager there, so we'll do send it, and this we have to make sure there's minecarts in. There are. We pick send a call, and the baby goes. But if we just do that one more time, we'll see that they actually get carried down this redstone line, presumably to where we, we pick their professions and such. So, that is that. So let's go ahead and get into actually building this design. Now, it's not super hard, it's just kind of big. So, let's go ahead and hop into it. Now, for this first part, I would recommend using glass, so that way you can see if they're breeding or not. So what you're going to need is some glass, a fence post, wrong block, a fence post, and some beds just for this first part. So I've actually built this one off the ground because it's going to go deeper with all this redstone here. This looks complicated, but it's really not. So yeah, very, very simple to build. But okay, so I would highly recommend either, if you're building this underground, definitely clear out a big space for it. But if you're building above ground, I would definitely not start this on the ground. I would definitely build up a couple of blocks and hang the building above the ground. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is have a fence post just like this. Very simple. And then you're going to place blocks on the outside of this with the bottom of the fence post uncovered like so. And then you're going to build up 1 block like this. And then what you're going to do is lead your villagers that you're going to be using to breed into here. Now, this might be a little bit difficult at first, but you'll get the hang of it eventually. So for this, I'm going to be spawning in villagers. So let me spawn the second one in here. And he is not going in. There we go. So now, just build up a small wall around this particular villager thing here. And then, boom, just like this, we have the first part already done. So here I was actually testing out to see, how many villagers can get in here. But honestly, the best results I've had is with just 2 villagers. So for that, all we're going to want to do is build out 2 blocks on either side, just like this here. and then place a bed on each of these. Now, what this will do is allow for them to breed and allow that to spawn, and allow baby villagers to spawn. So very easy. There we go. Now on to the next part of the build, which is the dispenser system, which is very, very simple. So all you're going to want to do is have a dispenser going down into the villagers like that, just like that. And then we're going to be using an observer clock, so go ahead and build one of those. And let's just do that real quick. So I'm going to do an observer, and then break that block, and then you have an observer clock right here, just like this. And then what you can do to toggle this on and off is have a piston right here on the back of it, and have a piston there, and then have some kind of toggle so you can pull this. Oh, sorry, wrong type of piston. My bad. You need a sticky piston for this. That's important. So make sure you have a sticky piston for this, or else it won't work, obviously. Big derp. Okay, anyway, and then you can toggle this on and off, and it won't dispense, as you can see. Now that's the first part of the farm done. Technically, it is functional now. If you had carrots in here, then this is technically functional. It's very, very easy. Now the next part that we're going to be building is the actual carrot farm itself, so that way we don't have to bring our own carrots, which is really quite simple. You just have a excuse me, you have this, and just some hoppers leading into each other. 1, 2, so you have 1, 2, whoops, and you're gonna have to crouch place these, obviously, so just do 7 wide, just like this. And just before we get into this, so water does flow farther than the 4 blocks I have laid out here. Just remember that. But the thing is that there is a glitch currently with the Bedrock Edition where water seems to get stuck. So in the future, if this is ever patched, then you could totally extend this. But for this design, because the bug is still in the game at the time of making this, we are in fact going to be using a 4-block space here. So that's why I've done 7 wide. And make sure all of these hoppers are running into this hopper here that's leading into the dispenser. So the next thing is you're going to want sticky pistons. Or excuse me, you can actually just use normal pistons for this, my bad. So you're going to want to take some pistons just like this, and just like that, and then have a little bit of a reservoir back here, so you can have some little bit of water storage, and then just something simple. So that way it's not super difficult or challenging to actually fill this thing up, and you don't have to use waterlogged blocks or anything. I'm not doing that. You could use waterlogged blocks for this, but just to keep it simple, I'm not going to. Now you're going to want to build blocks around here just like this, and then so this is basically it for that part of it. We'll be wiring this in later on. We're just going to get everything built first. Now the next part is we are going to take this glass and actually go down here. And what we're going to do is start building the collection chamber for the actual, excuse me, for the baby villagers. So you're going to want to do 2 blocks on either side, just like this, and then have a slab. It's very important. It has to be a top slab, but you can use any slab that you want. But I'm going to be using a smooth because I think that they look the best. And then we're going to take a dispenser right here and put it here, just like this. Very simple, very easy. Now the next part of this I'm personally using slabs for, which would just be, and I'm not going to build the entire thing obviously, so that way we can actually get on with the tutorial, but we are going to be building a little bit of a line out here just to demonstrate. Now I don't exactly know how long you would have to build this line, of course, but this would just lead to your and actually I built this 1 block too low. This would actually... Did I? Hold on. 1 second. I just did that incorrectly. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, so I did that. Okay, so actually, one important thing that I forgot and am just now realizing is in order for this to work, you are going to have to build, down like this. So, like that. So that way... Okay, so basically the reason for this is, let me get rid of this, sorry about that. Basically the reason for this, I'll replace these, and then the reason for this is, they can't actually get out, but the rail can't go underneath. So you have to build one block down just like this. So very, very simple. And you can use this to by powering redstone blocks or anything that you choose. Whatever you have works. So let's go ahead and get on to the next part of it, which, excuse me, is the what is next actually? Hold on, let me think real quick. I am trying to think. Let me go over here. Well, actually, did we? Yeah, we're good. Never mind. Excuse me. There's no other part to this. This is actually the entire thing done for the most part. So now all we have to do is kind of hook everything together. So with that, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use smoothstone. You can use any block that you want to. Which you're going to want to do is come over here and place blocks just like this, and then have a little wall right here. And then, so this right here will be your little control wall right here that you can use to do whatever. So what you're going to do is have some buttons and a lever. So the farthest block, which I'm actually going to use redstone lamps. I prefer to use them because it kind of shows, you know, what input is going and what is not. You're going to have a lever. You're going to have, and then 2 buttons right here. You can test those out, just make sure they're working. Now, at the back of each of these, a very important part of this, if you use redstone dust, they will not work. You have to, or I believe they'll work with redstone dust if you use redstone lamps, but if you have normal blocks, make sure to use repeaters. I always use repeaters anyway because they add a single tick of delay. Anyway, let's go ahead and go on to the next part, which is hooking all of this together. So we're going to start with this farthest button here, which will be our actual harvesting of the farm, which is very, very simple. So what we're going to do is go down several blocks like this. And in case you're wondering what I'm doing with this glass, you can actually use glass like slabs like this, which I personally think looks a lot better and it's much easier than placing slabs in my opinion. So you're just going to want to go underneath this thing here, and then just make sure that you build this because we're going to be using redstone torches. So just make sure that when you build this, what you do is have a redstone torch, and then 2 blocks, break that block, and then you'll see that, oh, what happened here? What happened? What? Why is this not turning off? Oh, you can't actually use glass for this. I'm sorry, I realized this has to power the block, and glass is transparent. So make sure you don't use a transparent block for that. Wow, okay. We're learning things even while filming the tutorial. That is beautiful right there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so basically what you're going to want to do is have this torch tower going all the way up and connecting to your redstone line. And, excuse me. So, what you're just going to want to do is bring this down all the way here, and then have your glass leading here. And then on this glass right here, on this right here, what you're going to want to do is have, and you want to make sure that you've built this so that way the pistons are always extended until you get input from this redstone line. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a repeater here, because this will strongly power this block. If you have redstone dust here, oh wow, as you can see, oh, maybe that's only on Java. Okay, if you're on Java, then make sure you strongly power this block by using a repeater. So that's actually the first part almost already done. So now all we're going to do is just bring out like this to the pistons. Very simple. This is all you have to do for this part. It's very, very simple, very, very easy to do. You're just going to extend this. And actually, I did a derp, and I actually built that in the wrong place. Okay, and there we go. I'm not entirely sure I know how to build my own redstone contraption. Ladies and gentlemen, we have hit a new high on this channel. Okay, anyway, yeah, you're just gonna build this torch tower all the way up. And did I really just build it wrong again? Oh my goodness, I built it 1 block too short. See, big brain guys, big brain. Okay, we're just gonna fix that real quick until you should have a little something looking like this right here. And let me just get rid of that and that and that. And you should have something looking like this. So a little torch tower, or a pretty big torch tower actually, going up, and then you're just going to take some glass blocks and another block going out the back of it like this. And this is actually why you need to place repeaters, is so that way you can individualize each and every redstone line. There's going to be no delay on these repeaters, just like this. And then boom, there you guys go. That is actually going to be it. So now we see, if we can do it quick enough, let's actually let's grab some water buckets and fill that up real quick. You're just going to place water, you're going to source block all of it. And then so we see, and let me actually just block that off here, so that way I don't accidentally mess up my redstone. Let's go ahead, and I believe it's that button there. Or no, it's the last button, which we'll mark these later, but we hit that last button. What happened? What? Oh. Duh. Not a torch there. Let me make sure I got all my torches. Okay, you're gonna hit that. And then, oh, well that's, okay, so that's actually the problem, is if you're having this issue, which I didn't even realize because I don't remember having to do it over there, was if you need to, you might have to actually make the signal. There we go, that's better. So actually what happened here, in case you're wondering, was this whole thing here actually wasn't getting powered because the redstone signal was too weak, because it's longer than 15 blocks. And I actually wonder, I didn't look at this, but it might be the case. Will this turn into farmland is my question. Is this water? I don't think it is. Is this water actually gonna, yeah, oh, it does actually, so you can actually do this longer. Okay. So, yeah, so anyway, let's go ahead and go on to the next thing, which is the auto feeder system. So this is pretty easy. All you're going to want to do is take a solid block and then power that block there, and then torch, block, torch, block, torch, block, and then you're just going to want to take this redstone line out, just like this. And sometimes your torch towers, and I actually don't need this block here now that I'm looking at it, so your torch towers may be a little bit shorter or taller, but that's fine, it doesn't really matter. So oh, actually I do need that, because this torch has to be off. Make sure that that torch right there is off. That's very important. So we're just going to place that and leave it like that, and then now we are going to take some redstone dust and connect it, and also just make sure that your redstone lines aren't fizzling out. So just try to do that, and then oh, lever there, don't need that. So just make sure that that's good, and then place a repeater there, and that should just about be it. So if we turn this on, that piston will extend and face the observer into the dispenser. Now if you are on the Java edition, to make this work you would have to put a repeater into there, because redstone dust doesn't actually interact with pistons like it does on the Bedrock edition. So if you're having troubles, that's why. And we see it turns itself on and off when we flick that lever. Now the very next part, and possibly the hardest part of this, is in fact the villager delivery system. So what you're going to want to do with this is essentially, what you're going to want to do is literally just connect it. But the thing is with this is you are going to have to change it a little bit, because basically the problem I was having, which for some reason I don't know why I thought this, but I thought that the villagers would just go straight through the slab. For some reason I thought, villagers will go through slabs, right, because they're not full blocks. I was wrong about this, and what you actually have to do is hook up a sticky piston in order to get the design to work. So we are going to go ahead and do that. But when it comes to timings on this thing, basically it's very, very simple when it comes to timings. You don't really have to extend or decrease any kind of timings. So that's pretty easy and pretty simple. So let's just go ahead and hop into it. It's very, very quick. So all you have to do is just do basically the same thing that we did over here. And am I doing this correctly? I am. Okay, so you're just gonna go down a little bit for this one, just not very much. And then you're just gonna bring this redstone line here, and then this one will go underneath the floor, and then you bring this over here and back up using a torch tower, just like this. And then what you're gonna do is just take redstone dust there, just like that, and then bring some more redstone dust over here. And what you need here is a sticky piston. A sticky piston that is extended at all times. So let's just power that. So this would be the off state. So what you need to do here is build a little something like this. You're going to take just like that, and then come over here with this redstone dust, just like this. And then boom. So now when we press this button here, it should work. Ah, no, it shouldn't. That's why it shouldn't work. Wow, we are big brain tonight, guys. We are so big brain. Like, massively big brain today. Okay, and then you're just gonna take redstone dust, just like this, and make sure to extend your signal around about the halfway point, just to be sure. And then what you're gonna do is place that dispenser's fire. That has natural delay to it, and that's the entire design. So it's pretty simple. It's just kind of big is the only thing. And then basically what you can do is basically just kind of come over here and build up a little wall just like this, and then you can build like a bubble elevator like I have over here. I actually space things out a little bit differently. So if you're finding that that's not really enough room to work with, then what you can do is essentially just move these redstone lines around, and it'll work exactly the same, as long as, you know, everything seems to be fine. You can extend this farm out if you need more room here. This needs to be in the same place, but you can totally just move the redstone lines around if you want to, which is what I've done with this design, but I've tried to make it as compact as possible with this design. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me set my weather real quick so it's not storming for this outro. Anyway, thank you guys ever so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the video. And if you use this design in one of your worlds, or you decide to try it out to make sure that it works, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below if it worked. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next gaming video. Bye, guys.